What changes would you be able to make as governor that you haven't been able to make in the Senate?
Oh, there's some very important areas that we need to focus on. Medicaid expansion, legalizing cannabis, really focusing on affordable housing, lowering property taxes, and fully funding education. General ed's been adequately funded, but special ed has not since 2011, and that is a critical area that we must focus on. So to me, those are the areas that are of utmost importance. Really, it boils down to affordability issues for working Kansans.
How do you tackle that for voters, for constituents, while also being mindful of state revenue and trying to keep the budget intact?
Absolutely. So you're right, affordability is an issue. I've done over 70 town halls across the state. It's a question that comes up, the issue that comes up that I hear from voters. And usually the question is this: we're in an affordability crisis. What is the legislature doing to help us? And unfortunately, we haven't seen much help. There's a supermajority of Republicans that could deliver on some of these issues, but we haven't seen it happen. So really it comes down to a few different issues like property taxes, housing affordability. And here's the thing, on property taxes in particular, we've seen some bills brought forward over the past few years. A lot of those are just gimmicks and band-aids. Doesn't get to the core issue. And the core issue is the fact that on the state level, we are obligated to fund education. It's our primary responsibility. So we're supposed to fund general education. We're constitutionally mandated there. We're federally mandated to fund special education. When we don't do that, and we haven't been doing that adequately, it gets shifted to the local level. And then the local level has to fill in the gap. That makes property taxes go up. So, like I said, the problem is the legislature really hasn't been addressing the core issue. We have to fulfill our obligation on funding education. Additionally, we can't keep doing these billionaire giveaways and tax exemptions for the rich and corporations. There's only so much money to work with.
Well, let's talk about that. You're, I assume, referring to the stadium deal, which you had called just that, a giveaway to billionaires.
Yeah.
If you're governor, this would likely be happening, stadium being built, while you're in office. So how do you make sure that there are guardrails, so to speak, or I mean, is this something that you would try to walk back on with the Chiefs, with the stadium, or what's your take on the stadium?
Look, I want the Chiefs here.
Sure.
I'm a Chiefs fan. It's exciting to think about, having them in Kansas. The fact of the matter is we only have so much money to work with, but there are other revenue streams available to us. I've been working on legalizing cannabis for almost a decade now. We have made progress, got a bill passed in the House, didn't quite get it through in the Senate, but take a look at the revenues coming in. Over $250 million in Missouri. And if you go to the Missouri state line, to the dispensaries there, you will find often 80% of the vehicles there are from Kansas. Cannabis is already in Kansas, we're just not getting the revenue for it. That would make a huge impact in terms of being able to fund our schools and other critical infrastructure. So, there are pathways forward and ways we can address these issues.
And you mentioned not only with legalizing marijuana, but there are also more progressive stances like raising minimum wage. I know that there was one bill that you tried to get up to $16 an hour. How do you reach across the aisle in a general election to moderates who are saying, whoa, this is way too progressive for me?
Yeah. I don't think they're progressive stances. When over 75% of the population supports things like Medicaid expansion, legalizing cannabis, raising the minimum wage, I mean, those are mainstream issues. And the fact of the matter is, the districts I have represented while I've been in the legislature, all of them have been Republican leaning, red districts. They wouldn't keep re-electing me if I was extreme or too progressive for them. So again, it's a matter of finding areas where we have commonality and working towards getting good policy in place. And again, like I said, the majority of Kansans support these issues that I'm on board with. It's helping working families. It's not extreme, it's mainstream.
When we talk about the Chiefs Stadium deal, is there anything that you would do differently moving forward?
There are some things I would have liked to have seen done differently in terms of there's nothing in the deal that I see that ensures that for the construction of the stadium itself that it has to be union workers. I come from a union family. It's important to me that people have livable wages. And like I said, there's nothing in the deal that ensures that. And as far as moving forward, once the stadium is built and the employees that are there, I understand on the Missouri side, most of them were making over $15 an hour. There's nothing to protect them in terms of their employment. And on the Kansas side, minimum wage, 7.25 an hour, big difference.